Welcome in, hockey fans. You have found your way back to the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Tonight, we're going to be breaking down some rivalries throughout the NHL. The Seattle Kraken are brand new to the league, but might they have the ingredients for their first major rivalry? Zach's got some thoughts there on that. Some other fun on-ice news. The Edmonton Oilers are looking like they might just be a cheat code out there in the NHL right now. It's early in the season, but some of their numbers are absolutely ridiculous for starting the season off. And then, of course, there was huge off-ice news today regarding the Chicago Blackhawks. We will be discussing the fallout from their sexual abuse scandal and the cover-up from that. Stan Bowman stepped aside from his role with the team today. Just how far will the ripples from this go throughout the NHL? We can't possibly be done with this story, can we? We'll be discussing that, plus then some college hockey talk as well that Zach's got on tap for us tonight. It's gonna be a serious night, but we promise it'll have some fun along the way too. All that and more here on the Neutral Zone on IE Sports Radio. Let's go. And welcome on back into the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio. I am Adam Karnick along with my co-host Zach Puplis. Hope that you guys are having a good night tonight. It has been an interesting day across the hockey landscape. Of course, we are going to be talking about the Blackhawks story and the fallout from that. But we've also got some fun on-ice things prepared. I see Zach is furiously jotting down some last-second notes. So I let him finish up, so we will jump in then and do our sponsor read for the night first. Starting, of course, with the Southern California Warriors semi-pro football team. The Warriors dropped one to the Disciples over the weekend. They are now 4-5 on the season with 1 week to go. The world of semi-pro sports is unlike any other sports organizations. Players pay to play in hopes of so many different outcomes, whether it's playing to get filmed, to try out for professional teams, big-time colleges, or just playing to stay in shape. No matter what, all semi-pro players have one thing in common, and that's playing for the love of the game. The SoCal Warriors have been on a quest to earn titles and give players second chances since 2017. Whether you're in Southern California or anywhere in the world, give semi-pro sports a chance if you love your sport. You may get that second chance you have been waiting for as an athlete. Find them on Twitter at SoCal Warriors, Instagram at Southern California Warriors, or on Facebook by searching Southern California Warriors. And then Background Check International Business. Are you looking to background check a new hire? Let Kit Fremen take care of that for you. Kit founded it and has managed Background Check International since 1994, and he's here to help you with the screening process. Contact Kit and let him help make the hiring process that much easier. This business is used for professional background checks and not for the use of any crimes, such as identity theft or any other illegal activity. Go to their website at bcint.com or find them on Facebook by searching Background Check International-BCI. And IE Sports Radio is available on all the major platforms at IE Sports Radio, whether that's Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. You can find us in all those places. And then the Neutral Zone, we are available on Twitter as well at IESR Neutral Zone. is where you can find the show and follow along there. Zach's been doing an awesome job of keeping that updated. I throw stuff in there from time to time, but really that's Zach. And then you can follow me on Twitter at Adam_Karnick. Zach is at The Pupless. And without any further ado, I think Zach has just gotten to the point where he's playing tic-tac-toe against himself. So I think he's ready to go. Zach, how you doing tonight, man?
Good, Karnick. How are you?
Been an interesting day. I've been following the news part of the show tonight, and I will be ready to take a good long shower after this, and not good news, and we will be getting to that.
Ooh, you want to start with that, or you want to start with the Hawks and Wings result from Sunday?
Let's start with the news, and then you can enjoy. I need to take a picture of this. Zach comes in and shows up tonight, all decked out in his proud
bragging rights
Red Wings sweater. I'm not sure if I can allow this in the studio any further. I digress.
One of 4 I could have chose from. So.
Yeah, I'm busting out the Kane sweater next week. That's all there is to it. So we'll start with the Blackhawks news of the day. To recap, to kind of set a recap here real quick. Back in May, news broke that the Blackhawks were being sued by John Doe 1 and John Doe 2. John Doe was a former player from the team back in 2010, and his allegation was that Brad Aldrich, a former video coach of the team, had sexually assaulted him, bullied him physically, and then also mentally, basically with talk that if you don't do the sexual favors I want from you, you're not going to make it in the NHL, that kind of attitude. John Doe 2 was, at the time, it was another victim of Aldrich's, allegedly, who at the time of the assault was 16 years old over in Houghton, Michigan. And he was included because they're alleging that had the Blackhawks not covered up the incident from 2010, Aldrich would never have been in the position to attack the boy. And frankly, they're right, because that was 3 years later, and it was a volunteer position. But let's face it, there was no black mark. Heck, he had been in the NHL. So, sure, he'd be great to have on staff free of charge for a high school hockey team. So, what had happened, the Blackhawks then commissioned an independent report that the results of that were made public today, where it was determined that everything was brought forward by the player, John Doe, in May of 2010. The team waited to do anything for 3 weeks. They then had a meeting, and I'm going to pull up everybody that was in the meeting because I want to make sure that I get it correct and not omit anybody. And this is per Katie Strang of The Athletic. She is an outstanding hockey reporter for The Athletic. I want to make sure that I get the list of coaches. She had them all here. Now, of course, I got to back up. Sorry, dead air. I know that's always great to be hearing. Well, I know the meeting included General Manager Stan Bowman, Head Coach Joel Quenneville, and then president of hockey operations, John McDonough. There were others in the room as well. And they decided to sweep the story under the rug. That the coach was that Coach Aldrich was allowed to participate in the victory parade. He got his day with the cup. He got a championship ring from the team, and then was offered the opportunity to quietly resign. Now, a lot of the other important people, Coach Q, John McDonough, they've since left the organization. Stan Bowman and there was one other of his lieutenants that were yet with the organization. As of this afternoon, they are gone. Stan Bowman was given the opportunity to resign his position with the team. He took advantage of that. His lieutenant was just fired outright. I didn't see if he was given the opportunity to resign. He chose not to take it, and so the team got rid of him. That was Al McIsaac was Bowman's top lieutenant. Bowman has also stepped down from being the head of Team USA. He was going to be the general manager for the Olympic team. He has stepped down from that. The NHL has said that if John McDonough wants to pursue further employment in the NHL, that he will have to get special clearance, basically. And so now you wonder, how far will this go? Joe Quenneville is, of course, still coaching. He's the coach of the Florida Panthers. He's been very successful down there. They're one of the teams in the Eastern Conference that's seemingly primed for a run. Will he still be employed as a result of this? Also, the general manager of the Winnipeg Jets was part of the Blackhawks front office at the time. He might be facing consequences from this. We'll see kind of how far the rabbit hole goes. But as a result, Stan Bowman is gone out in Chicago. We will see what else comes from this. On the ice, it's not like the Blackhawks are doing very well. They're 0-4-1 through 5 games on the season, and they have set an NHL record for longest start to the season without ever holding a lead. They're 5 games in. They've played an overtime period. They have yet to have a lead on the season. Jeremy Colleton, their head coach, was already in hot ice. Stan Bowman was one of his chief supporters. He is now gone. Colleton might be gone, but it would be for hockey reasons, not for allegation reasons. So
contrast that with the Bulls start. They're 4-0.
Yeah. The United Center suddenly has flipped in very quickly. Yeah.
Whew. Wow.
So not a fun story to be copying throughout the day today, but easily the biggest news stories in the NHL and in North American hockey.
Yeah, something we definitely have to talk about.
Yeah. So it took way too long for the Blackhawks to try to get to the bottom of this, but give the Wirtz family credit. They hired an independent firm to do this investigation, and they let the firm figure out what happened. They didn't try to decide what happened.
Yeah, it's good. Let the facts be discovered as they are, and not,
Exactly. Let the truth come to light. I heard it being talked earlier today on the radio, and it was they were just saying, it's a shame. Had they just come forward with this 11 years ago during their Stanley Cup run, it would have dominated the news cycle for a little while, but everybody would have stood up and applauded them for doing the right thing. And instead, they buried it for 11 years, and now all these people are being affected, and all these extra victims are out there that should never have happened.
Yeah. I mean, it's happened so many other places. I mean, they should have learned from Penn State, Baylor, etc.
Yeah. There's plenty of examples in sports of sexual predators getting caught, and a lot of rats go down with the ship when that happens.
Yeah. Ugh. What do you think? You want to talk about Wings and Hawks or Kraken and
Yeah,
Hawks?
we can talk a little Wings and Hawks then. Now that we've had our hard talk, let's get into, well, for you anyway, the fun of the show.
The host rivalry.
Yes, our first official host rivalry. For those that don't know, I of course am a Blackhawks fan, being a Chicago sports guy that I am. And Zach, as I will share on my Twitter here, is definitely a Detroit Red Wings fan. They only play a couple times a season now. One of them happened to be this past Sunday, and Zach's team got the better of it. Zach, take it away.
So on Sunday, the Red Wings beat the Hawks 6-3 behind a hat trick from 19-year-old Lucas Raymond. Only a week after his first goal, or less than a week after his first goal in the NHL. He becomes the second teenager in franchise history to record a hat trick, first being Steve Yzerman, and only the third to record at least 4 points in a game. Him, Steve Yzerman, and Gordie Howe.
If there are two names in Red Wings history you want to be associated with, those are them.
Yeah. When asked about that, Lucas Raymond says, "It was tough to take in. Those are the two of the greatest players who have ever played in Red Wings history." Like I said, it was only less than a week after his first career goal. It was his first time playing back-to-back nights with Detroit. He was the 4th overall pick in last year's draft, and this was only his 6th NHL game.
It's a good start.
Wunderkind?
It's a really strong start.
Yeah. Again, when asked about the start and his hat trick, he had this to say: "I've only played 6 games in the NHL, so playing on a lot of adrenaline and everything is new to me. Just trying to go out there every night and have fun and help the team win." I mean, what more can you ask from a young kid? I mean, that's such a perfect attitude to have.
Yeah, you definitely want that. And especially from the 19-year-old kid, you definitely don't want him coming out there saying much more than that either, because then it turns into bulletin board material.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, especially, like you said, especially in this day and age of entitlement, and you look at college, and if I'm not starting, I'm departing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's definitely, like I said, a really great attitude for him to have. Tyler Bertuzzi also had another solid performance. He had 1 goal in the game. Yeah. So that was, definitely a good performance in the rivalry.
Yeah, and the Red Wings came out on top. That actually was also a historical moment for the Blackhawks. Their sellout streak came to an end Sunday night. So yeah, think about how far that rivalry has fallen. That Blackhawks Red Wings
Wouldn't be a sellout.
didn't sell out. Yeah,
That's insane. Yeah. Oh. Wow.
but
Hey, it had my attention more so than Sunday Night Football.
I was keeping track of that while putting a child to bed and other. Sunday was just not a good Chicago sports day. I'll be talking more about that tomorrow on Chi-Town Weekly, but Sunday was not a good day in Chicago.
Rough.
Yeah, the Blackhawks getting doubled up by the Red Wings was the icing to a very, very, very bad cake.
To the poop cake.
Yeah, to the poop cake. Yeah, exactly. It was not good.
In other rivalry news, Seattle Kraken had their home opener at the Climate Pledge Arena. They played the Vancouver Canucks. You know, Pacific Northwest. Could this be a budding rivalry? I don't know. We'll see. They wound up losing 4-2 to Vancouver. Seattle had 2 goals, one by Vince Dunn and one by Mark Giordano. Vancouver had 2 goals by Bo Horvat, and 2 other goals. They had assists by JT Miller and another wunderkind, Quinn Hughes.
Yeah, when Seattle got granted a franchise, Vancouver just felt like the obvious rival. They're so close geographically. In fact, Vancouver was even worried that, hey, you might be tapping into our natural fan base here. Are you sure you want to put a team there? And the answer was, of course, yes. And I think rightly so, correctly so, Seattle has turned into an awesome hockey town early. But yeah, that feels like it should turn into it. You've got the close geography. You've got some good players on both sides. Hopefully, Vancouver took the first game. Hopefully, Seattle can take 1 or 2 games and kind of fan those flames. Because nothing will kill a rivalry faster than one team
to not be competitive.
Yeah, exactly. It's got to stay competitive. It's got to stay competitive.
Yeah. I was looking at other, Big 4, Big 5 teams that fit that bill, that fit, Vancouver and Seattle, and trying to see if there was precedent for this. And I was looking at Seattle Sounders and Vancouver Whitecaps in the MLS. And I was thinking, hey, maybe that'd be the same sort of deal, same sort of rivalry. But that's not the case. Seattle Sounders actually have a better rivalry with the Portland Timbers in soccer. So
Portland, which port?
Oregon.
Oregon.
Yeah. So it's still Pacific Northwest. But yeah, I was like, oh wow, I was surprised. So it got me thinking. Okay, so if there's no historical precedent in this league or other leagues for a good rivalry there between Vancouver and Seattle, okay, so what are the ingredients for a good rivalry? You got any guesses?
Competitive. You've got to have competition.
Sure.
You've got to have some incident. You've got to have something that sparks it, something that lights the match,
okay,
if you will, would be something to me. You think of the Blackhawks and the Canucks had a little bit of a rivalry about a decade ago. That was playoff. They met in the playoffs, and the Blackhawks had the audacity to beat them in the playoffs, in the 2010 in those playoffs. So, meeting each other a lot,
mm-hmm.
playing a lot, and then just having. You need a villain. Every story needs a villain. You've got to have that guy that, ooh, when I see that guy, I want him going down.
I think you hit 4.5 of the 5 I had here.
oh, what am I missing?
So, okay, so on ice incidents. The article I was reading talked about, it was from Bleacher Report, and they talked about the Avalanche and the Red Wings in the 90s and how that just, spurred a rivalry right there. Let's see, competitiveness. So, seeing each other a lot would create competition like that, I feel. So, geographic proximity and or same division, prior to realignment, Red Wings and Blackhawks are a prime example of that. Multiple playoff battles, too. So, if they're both successful, they might wind up being, playing each other in the playoffs.
Especially the way the playoffs are right now, where you stay in a division for as long as you can.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, and it's mutually exclusive, too, is that you're both chasing the same goal, and only one of you can get there. So, it's, either they talk about, the agony of defeat and the joy of victory and all that. And it's like, okay, so the joy of shutting out your opponent and making sure that they don't reach the same goal as you do, But then also the agony of, oh gosh, they beat us to the one goal that we wanted. Which, I mean, this is perfect talk for this week too, because you got the start of Seattle and Vancouver rivalry. You got the Hawks and the Wings. You got Michigan State on Saturday.
I know you've got a Michigan hockey story to get into. We'll get there. Not yet. We'll tease that a little bit yet.
Yes. So you hit 4.5 out of the 5. So geographical proximity, same division, on ice incidents, multiple playoff battles. You said somebody's got to be the villain. Genuine dislike for each other and trash talk. And the last one, okay, again, somebody's got to be the villain. Star players going head to head on big stages.
So who in this Seattle-Vancouver setup, who do we think could fit some of those roles? Any obvious candidates yet?
Oh, gosh. It's only been one game so far, but Mark Giordano is the captain of Seattle, so I mean he could fit that role. He got a goal in the game. And then for Vancouver could be Bo Horvat. You know, he got 2 goals, one shy of a hat trick. So he could be the villain on their side. All this talk of Vancouver reminds me of that one commercial with the 2 Swedish twins coming to the bachelor party. Did you ever see that?
I did not see this one, no.
They're at this hotel room and they talk about the 2 Swedish twins that are coming. And oh, wow, exciting. So they get a knock on the door and the guy goes and answers. Yeah, it's the Sedin brothers. Still cracks me up to this day.
Yes. Those 2 were a thorn in the Blackhawks' side for a long time, too. They were good.
They even mentioned that same rivalry in the article, too. And they said it was, even though they weren't in the same, they'd be the same conference, but it's not the same division. I mean, there's how many miles that separate the 2. But because they met so infrequently, but because it was so heated in what was it, maybe 2 series?
They met in 2010, 2011, and I think they met again in 2012. I'd have to look it up to be sure.
Okay, well, two or three playoff series. So even though they're not close by each other, because the playoff rivalry or the playoff series were so heated, it was boom, automatic rivalry.
They also then, when they met up in the regular season, then after 2010, there was always a little bit of extra, too, that was going on between those 2. So yeah, it was
extracurriculars.
Yeah. Oh, the Blackhawks didn't do a lot of fighting as a team in that era. They made an exception when they played the Canucks. They made exceptions for the Canucks and for the Blues. Those were the fighting teams for that time.
Not the Red Wings?
No, it was my experience of the Red Wings Blackhawks rivalry, which admittedly, again, I'm relatively new to it. I've been watching hockey now for about 11 years consistently. My experience with Red Wings Blackhawks has been professional. It's, we want to beat you, but it's going to stay on the ice.
Sure.
It's going to stay between the whistles.
Okay.
You're not going to have the Patrick Waugh come flying down the ice and jump kicking into the other goalie kind of stuff that you saw there. So yeah, it's been just a professional hockey rivalry, whereas with Vancouver it's been a little bit more extracurricular. With the Blues it's been a lot more extracurricular. Taves especially does not care for the Blues. All right, we should take a quick break, and then when we come back, Zach, I know you want to talk about some college hockey,
yes,
so
sir.
We will transocean over and talk some Big Ten. This is the Neutral Zone on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. He is Zach, I am Adam. We will be right back after this.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Davidson.
It's your boy Dentarius Lava.
And we are the hosts of Fast Break here on IE Sports Radio, where we discuss everything in the world of basketball from prep to the pros.
You guys should definitely check us out, man. Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We got all the basketball information you guys need, so we look forward to you guys listening in.
And please do, because we are the best basketball show on this side of the Mississippi. And please do check us out on Twitter at FastBreakISR. D-Lock, where's our time again?
8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. That gives you guys plenty of time on a Sunday.
Tune in.
Hey, what's up, sports fans? You're looking for a different type of sports talk show, something you haven't heard before? You gotta check out the BS3 Sports Show every other Saturday on 2 Live Stews Radio, 1 p.m. Central Time, 2 p.m. Eastern. Sports talk at its finest. Always have great guests, playing some good hip-hop. You don't want to miss it. Make sure to tune in to the BS3 Sports Show every other Saturday at 1 p.m. Central Time, 2 p.m. Eastern.
Hey USRN fans, do you have a product or company you're trying to promote? Look no further. USRN is teaming up with small local businesses trying to establish themselves via online promotion. Let us know if you're interested. Email us at usrnradio@gmail.com to learn more.
What's going on, football fans? This is me, your boy Larry, inviting you to join myself, Colin Reynolds, Mike Pat, and John Felipe for one of the most electrifying football shows you have ever heard. 3 and Out, right here at IE Sports Radio. Recap of the week before, a preview of what's to come, and of course, 3 hardcore head-to-head prime-time face-offs each week. You don't want to miss it.
What is going on, everybody? My name is Harrison Glazer, and we're coming at you from the Show That Never Sleeps podcast. I cover the Jets, the Islanders, the Nets, and the Yankees.
This is Pierre Moss, and I cover the Mets, Knicks, Rangers, and the Giants.
Our show is live every Wednesday through Spreaker and a bunch of other ways to get our content. Again, we're the Show That Never Sleeps podcast. We talk about all those New York sports. It's a lot of fun. We get into all of it. Please tune in. Again, that's Wednesdays at 6 p.m.
And we look forward to having you guys right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
And welcome back into the Neutral Zone, everybody. Here for the second half of our show tonight. So we teased it a little bit in the first half. We'll tease it now again in the second half. It is college rivalry week throughout the college football scene, but that can bleed into hockey a little bit too. Zach has got a Michigan college hockey story for us tonight, but I think before he does that, I think he wants to give us a little update on the Avalanche Golden Knights game going on. Zach?
Yes, sir. So that started at 8 o'clock today. Let me go back to the score. Last I checked, it was 2-1 at the end of the second. 2-1 Vegas. It is currently same 2-1. With about 4 minutes left in the third. Vegas has goals by Riley Smith and Chandler Stevenson, and Colorado has a goal by Cale Makar. So we were talking about rivalries earlier. So I feel like this could be another budding rivalry. They played in the playoffs last year. Vegas was down 2-0, came back, won the series 4-2. So we'll see what happens. And they're both incredible teams right now.
And Colorado, yeah, especially is one of the top teams, not only in the West, but in the entire league. Vegas, of course, jumped onto the scene by getting all the way to the Cup final in its first season.
And they made it to the Final Four every year so far.
Yeah, exactly. So definitely, you're talking about your list of ingredients there. Familiarity. They play against each other quite a bit because they're in the same conference. They've had meaningful games with each other. They're playing in the playoffs last year, and you want to talk about creating some villains, dropping a 2-0 series lead. Colorado's going to remember that come April, May, June, whenever they meet up in the postseason. Because barring something catastrophic happening, both of those teams are making the postseason.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like we keep bringing up Colorado as a 1 in 4 chance of making the Stanley Cup or winning the Stanley Cup.
Well, when you've got Nate McKinnon and all those other just insane players out there in Denver,
Landeskog.
yeah. Unlike Terran's in the chat room with us tonight, Terran's in the same boat we are with our two teams. He's got the Ducks and the Kings. Yeah.
Which side is he on?
Taryn, you're a Ducks guy, right? Do I remember that? I know you're Los Angeles when it comes to your Chargers and your Dodgers, but I can't remember. Are you a Ducks or are you a Kings fan? If you're there, let me know.
And what about Clippers and Lakers?
Oh, he is Lakers. He is all Lakers. He is all Lakers all the time.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, he and Larry both are big into the Lakers.
Gotcha.
So.
Oh well.
He is. I'm mainly a Ducks fan.
Oh well, okay, gotcha.
Quack quack.
Was it because of the Mighty Ducks movie?
Yeah. Well, we'll see if Taryn how he answers that. I mean, it would make sense. Those are good movies.
Yeah, sure.
Those are the Flying V.
I haven't watched the new series on Disney Plus yet, though, so I don't know. We'll see.
My wife and I were making our way through the Infinity Saga still of the Marvel. We've got so much Marvel. By the time my daughter gets to college, I might be caught up on everything. Problem is they keep coming up with new stuff. They need to stop for about 3 years so I can catch up on everything and then start again. Stop coming out with new content. I have a daughter. I can't keep up.
I saw Black Widow. I saw Venom and Venom 2. And I want to go see the Eternals. I have not seen Shang-Chi yet. But yeah, some of these ones are lesser known. And yeah, for sure. Phase 3, Phase 4, wherever they're at now.
Phase 4 is what they're at. And apparently Venom now is part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
The end credits scene from the latest movie has him having an appearance in the new Spider-Man one coming out. The No Way Home or whatever.
I'm never going to get caught up.
Well, that's the joy of it. It just keeps going and going. Energizer Bunny and all,
Yeah, but once you're behind, like I am years behind. I'll never get caught up at this rate. They just need to stop.
Well, and then there's all the different series. You
know? Yeah. I haven't even bothered to try. WandaVision and the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Yeah, I'm never gonna get caught up.
What if?
Yeah, what if? All cool ideas and great, and I'm glad they're doing them. I wish I would have had those ideas. I'm never gonna get caught up.
Well, we're off the rails a little bit, but. All right, so Michigan hockey, we've teased it enough. So
right. Hockey.
As a Michigan State fan, it pains me to talk about them, but this is historic, so I wanted to bring it up. I caught this on the Big Ten Network last week. So for the first time in 10 years, Michigan hockey is ranked number 1 in the nation. In their Division I poll, men's poll, there's 2 Big Ten teams in the top. It showed 9 on the poll. I think they mean 10. But... I digress. Michigan was at number 1. Minnesota was at number 4. They said Michigan ascended to the top spot by beating Minnesota Duluth and Minnesota State recently. The Wolverines roster includes 4 of the top 5 draft picks in the 2021 NHL draft and a total of 7 first-round draft picks. Wow.
That is stacked.
Yes. Well, yeah, the words they used were loaded and unprecedented, but stacked works too. Yeah.
Tomato, they all equate to the same thing. The puck's going to be going in the other team's net a lot.
Yeah, for sure. Michigan hockey head coach Mel Pearson, his philosophy. Well, let's first off, he was an assistant for legendary head coach Red Berenson for 23 years. He took over in 2017, and his philosophy on coaching and getting them ready for the NHL help them reach the next level. So not only do they focus on, he said that they're in the teaching business, they're also in the coaching business, but they're also in the development business.
College sports in a nutshell,
Pretty much.
In hockey, though, you can get away with that a little bit more because hockey is so different. You can be drafted, be the property of an NHL team, but still be playing hockey collegiately.
Yeah, that's so weird. When I read this again, I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, that's unique in college sports. Hockey, you can do that.
I think baseball too. Like if they're not ready yet, they can go back to school but still be,
a property for 1 year. Yeah, for 1 year. Yeah, they can be. I was drafted but I chose to stay in college. Yeah. Kind of a thing.
Like Kyler Murray was drafted by the Oakland A's, but he was still at Oklahoma for another year, and he decided to give that money back or not accept it, whatever, and sign with the NFL instead.
Hockey, though, they actually, because like this happened with Jonathan Taves of the Blackhawks, where he was at, I almost said Notre Dame, wrong ND, North Dakota. He was at North Dakota, drafted number 1 overall, but Taves and the Blackhawks both said, no, stay at school, you need to develop some more, then we'll get you integrated into our system. They let him stay there as opposed to going through the minor league system, going through Rockford and then coming to Chicago. They just left him there in North Dakota, and then he came straight to Chicago. So you see that happen where the teams will actually encourage them, stay there at school, get developed, get seasoned a little bit more, and then we'll bring you into the program. Usually they still wind up in the ECHL or the AHL before coming up to the big time. But it is unique. You don't see that with, certainly not football. Oh my gosh, not football.
Nope.
You don't see that with the other sports, but that makes hockey kind of unique.
Yeah.
Taryn chiming in. The fun of Southern California, where we've got all those teams. Taryn says he likes both the Angels and the Dodgers. Ooh. His family supports both.
Okay.
He knows it's crazy.
House divided and all.
He says his family supports both. One's an American League, one's in the National League. You can kind of do that. I do that with the baseball teams in Chicago. I actually rooted for the White Sox before I rooted for the Cubs. Then living in the city as I did for 5 years, if you don't have strong ties to a baseball team or just hate baseball altogether, you become a Cubs fan. It just happens. So I became a Cubs fan, but I still keep the White Sox flag tucked away in the back a little bit, and I've still got a hat. I've still got a White Sox hat that breaks out from time to time.
I thought you were going to say if you didn't have a strong allegiance one way or the other, you became a pariah.
No. It's crazy. So I can understand where Terrence's coming from. Fortunately for hockey, there's only one team in town, so it became very easy to just Blackhawks. Plus, when I was in college was right when Taves and Kane and Keith and Seabrook were all hitting the height of their powers all at once, and that became we talked about that in the first
powers
episode.
Combine.
Exactly. We talked about that in the first episode a bit, where it's just timing is everything. So it worked out. It worked out perfectly there.
Yeah, I have one question before we move on. So, if you were to compare the majority of all the different players' backgrounds, the majority of them, would they have gone and done their 4 years in college, 4 or 5, whatever, and then gone to the NHL? Or do the majority of them work their way through the minors instead and then go to the NHL? Or is it a combination thereof?
I'll be honest, I haven't looked at it. My gut reaction would say, again, hockey is so different. It's a little bit like basketball in that you've got to have the AAU, you've got to have that club atmosphere that siphons you into college. They tend to get drafted relatively early on in the college process. I mean, you get 18 and 19-year-olds drafted in the first round and then stay in college. My gut would say that most of them go into the minor league system before coming into the NHL, but then you've got your Jonathan Taves, your Connor McDavids, Crosby's, those kinds of guys who you just know we don't need to bury them down in the minor leagues. We can bring them up right now and enjoy the benefits of having this talent at this level right away. So I'll look at that for next week. Try to see kind of what is the average path, if you will, the typical path for them. Because I would imagine too that there are some that just bypass the college route altogether and go straight into the ECHL, go straight into the minor leagues and start collecting a paycheck. Because why not? You're able to take advantage of it while you can.
Yeah. Now, hang on. You just mentioned that you said Taves, but you had it in two different scenarios. You said they wanted him to stay in college, get more seasoned, but then you also said why not take advantage of his talents right away? So, which one was it with him?
I'm sorry. When I said that, I was referring to the minor leagues. Taves went straight from college into the pros.
Okay.
He never spent any time in the AHL or the ECHL.
Okay.
Yeah, he went straight from North Dakota to Chicago.
Okay, I see what you mean now. All right. Thank you for clarifying.
Yes, exactly. And speaking of one Connor McDavid, that kind of segues into our last little fun bit for the night, namely the Edmonton Oilers. When we were doing the season preview for the start of the year, Zach, I think we both kind of were in agreement that the Oilers were one of those teams to keep an eye on out west. Certainly they were going to be a team that you would think should make the playoffs. Certainly they have the scoring already. They've
already been a perennial playoff team for, 3-4 years now? Maybe ever since Connor McDavid got drafted.
Mm-hmm. Now it's could they add the defense? Could they add the goaltending? Early season statistics are always so much fun in a sport like hockey.
September Heisman's.
Yes, September Heisman. But even more so because football, is just a once a week game. Hockey is
2 to 3.
2 to 3 a week. Baseball is the king of this because it's literally an everyday sport. Looking at the standings as we sit right now.
Side note: Vegas is and Colorado Smile. It was Vegas 3-1.
Ooh, Vegas is taking one from Colorado tonight. Good for them. Good for the Golden Knights. Is that just their second win?
That's their second win since beating Seattle first game of the year.
Yeah.
Wow.
So a much needed win for the Golden Knights tonight too.
Yes, but I digress. Go ahead.
So Edmonton has played 5 games this season. Obviously, small sample. We've got 77 of these things yet to go. However, they've already scored over 20 goals as a team. They have 23 goals as a team already, averaging 4 goals a night over. If you can keep them to just 4 goals, you've held them below their average for the season. Congratulations. Better than a goal a period.
Oh my gosh.
And then Connor McDavid. These numbers are ridiculous.
Eye-popping.
What's that?
Eye-popping.
Eye-popping, yes. Again, early season, but that's part of what makes it all the more fun. He has already 13 points in 5 games. 6 goals and 7 assists. That puts him a pace for 98 or 99 goals this season. And 213 points.
To put that in perspective, what's an average?
I mean, if you have a guy, let's see, who led the point? Who was the NHL points leader last year? As you ask the question, the 2021 NHL points leader was Connor McDavid. This is from quainthockey.com. He played 56 games last year. He had 33 goals and 72 assists. So 105 points. Now that's not a full season. Let's go to the last time we had a full season, which would have been 2019. The 2018-2019 NHL points leader. Nope, that's giving me the 2019-2020, which of course got interrupted by the start of the pandemic. Let's go back. So the last full season we had was 2018-2019. The NHL point leader was Nikita Kucherov from Tampa Bay.
Sure.
He played all 82 games. He had 41 goals and 87 assists for 128 points. McDavid's on pace to almost double that.
Oh, crap.
And McDavid, that season, and he only played 78 games in that 18-19 season.
Okay.
He had 116 points.
McDavid did?
McDavid
Wow.
did. He was second in the NHL that season. Patrick Kane was third. So, yeah, normally your points leader is going to be in that 100 to 120, maybe 130 point range. He's on pace for 218.
Double.
Yeah. That's a good season.
Yeah.
Suffice to say the Oilers early season are being a bit of a cheat code. And listen to some of these other names. You've got Zach Hyman already. He's got 5 goals already on the season. Some other ridiculous. Leon Draisaitl already has 4. He also has 7 assists. He's got 11 points in the first 5 games. I am going to butcher this player's name. I apologize.
Oh my gosh. Jesse Puljujarvi?
We'll go with it. I'm glad you tried it, not me. He's
Mills
got
Lane.
8
I'll
points.
allow it.
He's got 8 points already on this season. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins hasn't scored a goal yet, but he's already got 7 assists on this season. They're just scoring at will. 65 points as a team already.
And you said they played 5 games. What's their record?
They play 5. They're 5-0-0.
Okay.
They've got 10 points already on the season. Just for comparison's sake, 65 points as a team already. Let's look at some of the bottom feeders. Let's look at Arizona. Arizona and Chicago are both 0-5-1. That puts them both in the bottom of the league as far as the standings are concerned. Arizona offensively this season as a team has 32 points. They've scored 11 goals as a team. McDavid's got half that.
That's not even fair.
The Blackhawks, my Blackhawks, I'm going to hate this, have 12 goals as a team. Ha! McDavid's only got half. Man, this is going to be a long season for the Blackhawks.
Woof.
So, yeah, the Edmonton Oilers are being the early season cheat code across the NHL. All right. That is going to do it for our show tonight. Of course, we had heavy news, and we hope we got you through that. But then we hope we had some fun along the way, too. Before we forget, Zach, would you throw out one more shout-out to our sponsors there? We don't have to do the whole read.
Wrap it up. We're going to do the Southern California Warriors. Businesses are looking to background check a new hire.
I think we're having some technical difficulties there at the final read, but Southern California Warriors and Background Check International Business, thank you again to them for everything that they do. And thank you to Taryn for hanging out in the chat room with us. Thank you to Larry for everything he does here at IE to keep everything up and running and the lights on. It is always appreciated. And thank you guys for continuing to listen to us week in and week out as we have some fun, talking some hockey, and figuring this out as we go. You know, we're here to have fun. All right. He is Zach. I am Adam. Until next week, we'll talk to you then.